to continue the discussions, we go now to glycosides. So when the hemiacetal group or the OH of anomeric carbon of the monosaccharide is condensed with an alcohol or phenyl group, it is called a glycoside. So meaning ng anomeric carbon yung OH will bond with alcohol or phenol, it will form glycoside. So the non-carbohydrate group is known to be the aglycon. Glycosides does not reduce Benedict's reagent, so it is the non-reducing sugar because sugar group is masked by the aglycon. Okay, so based on the structure, so they may be hydrolyzed by boiling with dilute acids. So what do you mean dilute acids? Dilute HCl or dilute sulfuric acid that is free and can reduce copper sulfate. So glycosides can be reduced by boiling it with dilute acid. So alpha glycosides are hydrolyzed by maltase from yeast. Beta glycosides are hydrolyzed by emulsin from almonds. So these are example of sugar. Example, glucose, the aglycon is fluoritine, glycoside is fluorizine, rose bark, usually importance in renal damage. Okay? Galactosylose, digitogenin, from glycosides, digitonin, or leaves of foxglove, or known to be the plant is Digitalis purpurea. It is used as a cardiac stimulant, okay, or cardiac glycoside drugs. So the common brand name in the market is digoxin. The generic is digoxin. The brand name I mean is the brand name is lanoxin. Okay. Glucose, indocil, plant indications, you use leaves of indigofera. It is used in stain or gram staining of the bacteria also. Okay. So digitoxin molecular weight, take note of this one, C47H54O14. This is digitoxin that is isolated or extracted, I mean, from the Digitalis purpurea, that is a plant. Okay. And then the generic is digoxin in the market, and the brand name is lanoxin. So formation of esters. Hydroxyl groups of sugars can be esterified. So when you say esterified, you add ester group or the COO or RCOO, functional group to form acetates, propionates, benzoates, phosphates. So metabolism of sugar inside the body starts with phosphorylation process or addition of phosphate group coming from the adenosine triphosphate, okay, or the presence of inorganic phosphate. So glucose 6-phosphate and glucose 1-phosphate are intermediaries of glucose metabolism. This is this example of the phosphorylation process where the glucose underwent. Okay, so these are example of there are a lot of glucose 1,6-bisphosphate or glucose 1,6-diphosphate. So that is intermediary. When say intermediary, these are not the final product of the metabolism. It needs 1 or 3 reactions or 2 reactions to become the product. Okay, so amino sugars may be substituted for hydroxyl group, so to give rise to amino group. So there is what we call a substitution reactions, wherein hydroxyl group is removed and amino group is added. So the reaction involved is dehydroxylation and then transamination process that is acted by enzyme transaminase. So they will not produce oxazones. They're non-reducing sugars. Okay, glucosamine is seen in hyaluronic acid, heparin, and blood group. Okay, galactosamine presence in chondroitin or cartilages. So this one is galactosamine and chondroitin sulfate or cartilage. So usually found in connective tissues. Manosamine constituents of glycoproteins. Usually glycoproteins that are found in the surface of the cell membranes that involves in the transport of glucose from outside to inside of the cell. Okay. So this is your galactosamine. That is found in carbon number 2 beta D galactosamine, that is found in alpha carbon atom. Okay, and we have beta manosamine found in the amino group found in alpha carbon of the first carbon atom. Okay. Next, this is methyl alpha D glycopyranoside and methyl D glycopyranosides. They are considered to anomeric carbon atom because of the presence of your methyl group. Okay, so this one, the glucose undergone the process known as methylation process. Okay, actually this is an ether already. So ROR. Okay, ROR is methyl group. Okay, deoxysugars. Oxygen of the OH group may be removed from deoxysugars. So the reaction is deoxygenation or removal of the oxygen. The oxygenation will be reduced and will not form ozone crystals, so they are non-reducing sugars. L-glucose is present in blood, antigens, and many other glycoproteins. This is glycoproteins to correct. So deoxyribose is important part of the nucleic acid. That's why you have deoxyribonucleic acid. We have the ribonucleic acid, okay, the RNA and DNA. So ribose, so in carbon number 2, you have this one, and we have deoxyribose in carbon number 2. Deoxyribose is removal. So if you remove the hydroxyl group, it will form deoxyribose. So this is important part of the nucleic acid, the RNA and DNA. So pentoses, sugars contains 5 carbon atom. Ribose is a constituent of the RNA or ribonucleic acid. So it is also a coenzyme such as ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and NAD or nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Deoxyribose is found in DNA. Xylose in proteoglycans, cellulose in intermediary of uronic acid, uronic acid pathway. So disaccharides, when two monosaccharides are combined together by glycosidic bond or glycosidic linkage, a disaccharide is formed. The important are the sucrose, maltose, isomaltose, and lactose. So sucrose, we go now to sucrose. So sweetening agent known as sugars. So glucose plus fructose, this is known to be a table sugar. Non-reducing, it will not form ozone crystals. So kung mag-form siya ng ozone crystal, reducing siya. When you say reducing, it convert your copper sulfate to cupric hydroxide. Sucrose is hydrolyze the products that have been reducing actions. Okay? So, but when you add water, so there is a split of sucrose is converted to fructose plus glucose. So that is already reducing. So, in the process of what? Hydrolysis. Okay? Sucrose has a molecular weight of formula of C12H22O11. So their linkage in alpha 1,2 glycosidic bond. Okay, this is 1, and we have carbon number 2. Okay, alpha glucose, beta fructose. This is known to be your sucrose. Okay, so for the tests in the lab, okay, usually kung ano siya, i-test po natin sa lab usually kung non-reducing sa copper sulfate test. Okay, or Benedict's test. You add copper sulfate and then you heat. So fructose and glucose, they are reducing. Ang sucrose remains, the Benedict's reagent remains blue. Okay, meaning this is non-reducing, reducing. Okay. Next, hydrolysis of sucrose will produce one molecule of fructose and 1 molecule of glucose. So products will change from dextrorotation to levorotation. Okay. Or dextrorotatory to levorotatory, or the plane rotation is inverted, or what is one, invert siya, so meaning opposite. So equimolar mixtures of glucose and fructose is known to be invert sugar. So enzymes involved in hydrolysis of sugar is known to be sucrase or invertase. Honey is known to be invert sugar. Invert sugar is sweeter than sucrose. So, ano yung tawag na synthesis and hydrolysis of sucrose? So, we have glucose plus fructose. So, synthesis, it will form sucrose plus water. Okay? And then, sa hydrolysis, you add water, so it will form glucose plus fructose. So, monosaccharide plus monosaccharide, disaccharide plus water. You add water, so this is a reversible reaction. So, that is sucrose plus water hydrolysis process, it will form glucose plus fructose. Lactose, ito, found in milk. So, mga infant formula, may lactose yan. Okay, so upon hydrolysis, it will form glucose plus galactose. That is the component of lactose. So, that is reversible. Okay, glucose plus galactose, lactose. Lactose plus water, it will form glucose plus galactose. Okay, beta-glucosidic linkage is present in lactose. So, anomeric, meaning is attached to the carbon atom is attached to 4th hydroxyl group, glucose 1,4 glycosidic bond. So, anomeric siya dito sa carbon number 1. Okay? So, form ozazone which resemble hedgehog formations. Hedgehog formation siya. Okay? So, this is lactose. So, we have the anomeric. So, because carbon number 1, so bond with the 4th carbon atom. Okay? Maltose. So, contains 2 glucose residues, alpha 1,4 linkages. Makamba ka alpha 1, okay? Anomeric. Maybe alpha or beta depending on the configurations of free anomeric carbon atom. So, reducing disaccharide man siya. So, mayroon siyang petal-shaped ozazone crystals at maltosazone or presence of mannose. Okay? So, this one is the maltose. So, this is mannose plus mannose. Okay? 1,4 linkages. Next, isomaltose. So, contains 2 glucose, but the linkage is 1,6. Yung maltose is 1,4. So, partial hydrolysis, it will form glycogen and starch produce isomaltose. Partial hydrolysis of glycogen, okay, it will form isomaltose. Starch also will form isomaltose. Enzyme is 1,6 glucosidase present in intestinal juice that will hydrolyze isomaltose to glucose. Take note of the enzymatic catalysis of isomaltose to glucose that is acted by enzyme 1,6 glucosidase because of the linkages between 2 glucose. So this one is maltose. So we have 1,6 1 1,6 ito 1. So carbon number 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is carbon number 1. So attached, that is 1,6 linkages. Okay. So, monosaccharides, so as a summary, so glucose is aldohexose, galactose is 4th epimer, mannose is 2nd epimer, okay, fructose is ketohexose. So, disaccharides natin, glucose plus galactose, we have a lactose reducing, maltose reducing, glucose plus glucose sa maltose, glucose plus fructose, sucrose, non-reducing. Okay? So, if you want to reduce sucrose, you have to add dilute acids and then you boil. So, polysaccharides, we have 2 types, the homoglycans and heteroglycans. So, homoglycans, meaning it is composed only of the one carbohydrate group. So, reserved carbohydrate found in kingdom plantae. So, yan mga tapioca, cereals, other food grains, so potatoes. Okay, so lanusum, tuberosum. Okay, pumilla batatas, yan, sa kamote meron yan eh. Okay, composition of amylose and amylopectin. Example, manihot esculentum, yung sa kasaba. Okay, insoluble parts absorbed form paste like amylopectin. Okay. Hydrolysis of starch. So, starch will form blue color complex with iodine usually. So, starch plus water with aid of the enzyme amylase, it will form maltose. Okay, so hydrolysis for a short produces amylodextrin, which give violet color iodine in non-reducing. So usually sa lab will test this one. You just add iodine solution, it will form to violet color. So it contains starch. So glycogen, reserved carbohydrate found in plants. So stirred in liver of animals. So that's why if you want to eat our liver, you want to eat liver ng baka or baboy man yan, contains glycogen. Or the human body also contains glycogen, glucose. Okay, 5% of the body weight of the 5% weight, I mean, of the liver is made up of glycogen. So molecular weight is 5 million. So cellulose, supporting tissues of plants. So this one, 99% cotton, 50% wood, most abundant organic material in nature. So usually ito yung cellulose which are found mostly in plants. So, sa mga animals, it have cecum which harbor bacteria, can hydrolyze cellulose and produce glucose which needed by animals. So, some animals, okay, cecum, that is the mouth, okay, May mga organism kasi yung mouth is also the anus. Okay? So, molecular structure. So, cellulose, this one, it is glucose plus glucose. Next, we have heteroglycans. So, agar, so coming from carrageenan or sewage, wala. Example, magbakal sa Libertad, may mga ano dyan, gulaman. Okay? Content, galactose, glucose, and other sugars. So, dissolved in water in 100 degrees Celsius. That's why if you want to eat agar, gulaman, you have to boil first. Okay? Tunaw na siya. Yung maglambot. Okay? Cannot be digested by bacteria. Is served as supporting agent in bacterial culture. That's why na yung microbiology, may nutrient agar, and different agar that are used in culturing bacteria or used as a medium. Okay? Mucopolysaccharides known as glycoaminoglycans. Okay? Or heteropolysaccharides contain uronic acid and amino sugars. Okay? So, acetylated amino acids and carboxylic acid is attached to water molecules produce viscous solution ng mucopolysaccharides. Yung mucin that yung mga laway natin, may mga mucopolysaccharides yan. Okay? Kinds, we have hyaluronic acid found in the connective tissues, synovial fluid sa mga joints, vitreous humor in the eyes, optical cavity, serve as lubricant in joints. Okay? Itong hyaluronic acid. May arthritis ka, usually the doctor will prescribe Hyalgan. Hyalgan is a drug that is used to treat arthritis, because in arthritis medyo yung synovial fluid diyan medyo kulang na, okay, or small amount of synovial fluid. That's why sakit na yung joints mo because wala na siyang lubricating agent. That is one component sa hyaluronic acid. Okay.